Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Infinity Broadcasting and to the V8 Veterans as well as we go racing this evening for round 3 of season 27 of the Racekraft Simulations V8 Veterans. We're here tonight for the Split 2 action from Michelin Raceway here for Road Atlanta. Hamish Munro here with you as always. Alongside me is Brett Fisher, and Brett, we're excited for tonight. It's the third round of the season. And one thing we're bound to be in for is a little bit of spice, a little bit of chaos as well. And with a late change to the race distance down from 200 kilometres to 150, that's going to speed things up just a little bit, that we may see some chaos out there.
It's going to be fast and furious. And you say spicy on the front grid. Yeah, it certainly is going to be. I can't wait for this one at Road Atlanta.
Yeah, it's always...
coming off.
Well,
sorry, mate. I was just going to say, coming off the back of the Bathurst 6 hour, what an amazing event. I had a fantastic weekend. Thanks for the big shout out to the boys for allowing me to fossick around in the pits. It was fantastic stuff.
Of course, Brett Fisher, also known as the Lurker at times as well. But this weekend, I was going to say you were put to work this weekend. Brett, you went from the Lurker to the Worker, and you did the work in the pit lane. But we're here tonight for the work that gets to be done for round 3 of season 27, of course. Here, Road Atlanta, it's been a long time servant of the vets community in terms of a fantastic racing circuit to participate at every single season that it's been involved in here in the Veterans as well. We haven't been here for a little while, but it hasn't been too long since we were last here. To catch everybody up on where we currently sit in the championship, as I said, round 3 tonight, it was changed from 200 Ks to 150 for 37 laps this evening. It does mean that either St. Petersburg or Coda West will get extended to a 200-kilometre race. I'm a big believer it should be St. Pete next week, Brett, because I think street circuits being 200 Ks always gives us something special to look forward to, and that's what I believe should be the 200k race out at the debut of St. Petersburg next time out when we go racing once again. But yeah, we've already seen Bathurst and of course Road America last week. Both rounds gave us a lot of chaos, a little bit of controversy as well. Ultimately though, we have got some extraordinary drivers at the top end of our championship standings right now, including Gary Buckland, who is 2 for 2 thus far in terms of podium finishes this season, and his first race win in over 800 days last week out at Road America. Of course, he leads the championship now, 362 points. Chris Blanchard, P2, Ron Allen, Halil Cesar, and Brendan Zatira making up the top 5 at this stage in the title race. No drop rounds have been counted just yet, though, Brett. We'll count the first drop round as of the end of next week's round after St. Petersburg. So when we get into round 5 and the end of the first half of the season for the Anzac Day round, that's where we'll see where people lie, with one drop round included next to their name. And that may give us some surprises, but also some drivers who we know are going to be up there.
It's going to be, definitely going to be a good one to watch out for when all that happens. Things are going to go up and down and around and around. If you want to get yourself hyped up before tonight's race starts, go and quickly listen to the Hype Up song. You can find that on the general chat and V8 Vet Discord, and that'll get you pumped up. But if you don't want to do that, you can hear it at the end of the broadcast tonight. Are we still doing that, Hamish?
Yes, we are. Of course, Brett. Of course we are. It's become a mainstay of the season, so yes, we're going to definitely listen to that once again. Let's have a quick look at where we are this evening. Of course, Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta is one of the crown jewels of sports car racing here in the US. Home, of course, of the Petit Le Mans that takes place at the end of the year, which is a multiple-hour event that ends out the IMSA Championship, of course, with GTPs and GTD cars and amongst that field. But we bring the roaring V8s of supercar action here this evening as well, off the back of the adjusted schedule of the Taupo race this weekend for the first of the New Zealand double header of the V8 Supercar Series. We have an adjusted format here tonight as well. As we said, shortened distance tonight, so it means we're going to be done that a little bit quicker, but it's all going to start on the main straight up towards turn 1 and then up the hill through 2 and 3 and down through 4. It's a little roller coaster section that begins out the circuit and begins out your lap, and it is that initial section is one where we can see early chaos happening within this race, Brett, but it's also a section where we can see a lot of cars ending up off track and even into the wall as well on the left-hand side. When we divvy down through the S's and up towards turn 5, that section's often where we see drivers kind of getting crossed over with each other. We can see incidents through there, but really the name of the game in terms of incidents tonight is going to be the exit of turn 5, watching that curb, watching that sand on your right-hand side, and making sure you don't catch it with your tyres, because you're more than likely going to get spat out the other side in a worse for wear manner, if you will, Brett, to end out the first sector of the circuit.
Oh, certainly. And coming over 3 is always been an interesting one. Yeah, as you come off turn 1, 2, and then you come up over the hill over 3, it's always an interesting one to get the car pointed the right direction and just get it hooked in nicely. And as I say, coming down through the S's to 5, get yourself a good little exit off there and you get a nice little run down to 6. So nice little section of track through the S's. You can get it all messed up and wrong, and it only takes a little bit to get you out of touch with what's happening on track.
That's exactly right. And of course, as we run down towards the double right-hander of turn 6 and 7, we can often see drivers getting again just overlocked with each other through 6 and even through turn 7 as well. It's such a slow corner and the pace can shrink up so much that we then often see some chaos coming out the other side of it. But you got to try and maximize your run through here, get yourself a good run down through 8 and 9 towards the Formula Drift section of the circuit, down to the braking zone of turn 10A and 10B, where it is a good passing opportunity up the inside. You've got to have balls of steel. I mean, it's the only terminology we can really use to really go for the move down there. There has to be some fair play from the person against you going for the move as well, of them defending. They need to leave you plenty of room, but they also need to be able to realize they can go for the move if you do get past them on the next time back around. We then make it out the exit up through turn 11 and underneath the bridge and down the fast-paced turn 12 across the start-finish line as well. One difference has been made to this circuit since we last ran it. The pit entry has changed. Previously, the cones for the slowdown point of the pit entry was right at that little kink corner you see right there, not too far back from the start-finish line. It's actually now moved up the hill a little bit towards further towards the entry of the pit lane. That means that you have to slow down a lot quicker, and it means you're at a higher risk of getting an iRacing black flag for a speeding in pit lane penalty, or even an unsafe entry penalty as well. Pit exit remains the same, no. Chance of safety car tonight, Brett? I'd say it's pretty high. This circuit has given us many safety car moments across the years when we've come racing here, and it's always one that we have to keep an eye out for, of course, as well. As we prepare ourselves for the racing action to come your way here tonight as well, we're excited for the next few rounds, obviously. Coming up over the next few weeks as the warm-up is about to begin and drivers are about to head out on circuit after qualifying has been completed. Out there, we're just waiting for everything to load up for us and give us a good running. There it is. Pretty important next few weeks, Brett. Obviously, next week, St. Petersburg makes its debut in the series. That's going to be a fun one for all of us to get out there. I've been waiting for St. Pete for so long. I love the circuit, Brett. It's absolutely fantastic. And the week after, we're back again on Anzac Day for the Anzac Day round at Virginia International Raceway. It's always a special event whenever we get to be a part of it. We're bound to see a lot of Anzac Day liveries being represented across the field, not just from our teams, obviously, Brett. There'll be other teams out there that'll be doing them as well.
I better get started.
Sure. I have already started on mine. I'm very excited for mine. But what else we can expect to, obviously, is we have the national anthems playing prior to the race start, the minute silence as well, of course, and the last post being played prior to that one too. It's going to be a very special night for us. It's always a special night. It's one of my favourite broadcasts of the whole year is the Anzac Day broadcast, and we hope that you can join us in a few weeks' time. It will be 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, of course. That'll be 2 Saturdays' time out of Virginia International Raceway. So really hot coming up 2 weeks for us, Brett. Obviously, St. Pete, and then Anzac Day. Then the second half of the season begins, and in a blink of an eye, it's going to be here. We head out to Long Beach, obviously, then Coda the week after, before we head out to Fuji, the Nürburgring, and then ending the season at Adelaide. So it's going to come around pretty quickly, but an exciting next few weeks coming up.
And as you mentioned earlier, it's crazy that we're already at round 3. It is just flying through this series so far. So and there's been some exciting racing, and even though our race tonight has been dropped back to 150 k's, I don't think the package is going to be any less exciting. I think it's going to be pretty exciting out here tonight. I
agree as well. Drivers to keep an eye on tonight, of course. Stephen Kokoschke is one to keep an eye on. He's been an early contender thus far in the season. We suspected he would be after his late momentum run at the end of the season last season, but that was the moment I spoke about exactly, Brett, in the track run through of having to be careful of that sand on the outside. Bruce Tannock's going to be one to look at tonight as well, Brett, with how clean he's been running the last few weeks as well. Can he continue that form up? Can he do it here tonight into Road Atlanta, of course? And then Michael Schreier, the debutant who took out P2 last week, he'll be looking for more silverware coming out tonight for the Sud Speed entry.
And I don't know what it is, but I'll tell you what now, I love saying the name Kokoschke in the race.
So satisfying.
It's something so satisfying about it. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but did I start and get that wrong when I first started calling?
I believe you did. Yes, and then through pure attrition, Brett, you have and tenacity, you have fought through that, and you are saying it correctly.
Fought through it, and now it is probably one of my most favourite names. Not that I'm favouring Kokoschke at all, as he tries a bit of drifting around there. I mean, you don't want to do that too many times during the race. Yes.
And of course, there are some drivers out there who've had up and down runs thus far this season. I mean, Andrew Hoffman, what a great round one he had. Round 2, though, definitely one to forget for him last week.
Too.
It's a very nice one, isn't it? It's a very nice one for SCR. So Andrew will be hoping for a solid run here tonight as well after his great performance in round 1 at Bathurst. And then he needs to try and bounce back after last week at Road America, of course. Halil says is another one who's had an up and down season, round 1. Not very great, of course. Last week was fantastic for him. He would have loved to have gotten the race win, of course, but that podium will still feel just as sweet I'm sure. And there's many other drivers out there too who'll just be hoping to maximise their performances. Andrew Listener, I mean, he's been pretty consistent this season, mid-pack driver, of course, for SCR, so we'll be hoping to see if he can back up what he's been doing over the last few weeks.
Yep. And I think I mentioned to you in the pre-race, sort of just in chat there, Hamish, is that I just get the feeling this split has tightened up.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
just all got condensed. You know, I mean, I know we have talked over the last couple of seasons how the split is getting closer and closer, but I don't know. I just felt like the race prior, it's just actually all condensing even further, and it's getting tighter. So if it's anything to look forward to what happens on the track in the next coming few weeks and stuff, it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
It's going to be phenomenal, Brett, I am sure. Starting grid for tonight's race, though, will be as follows. Bruce Tanek will keep his flow of form going by starting pole position here this evening out at Road Atlanta. Michael Jones will start alongside him on the front row before we look back to Stephen Kokoschke and Gary Buckland on the second row of the grid, to Halil Cesar and Michael Schreier then for the top 6 cars on the grid order here tonight. We look back to row 4 of Chad Viger and Roy Clark. What a run Roy Clark's having this season. Yeah. Hopefully he can continue his form as well heading throughout tonight's race. Row 5, we find Ben Brook and Andrew Hoffman starting inside of the top 10 to row 6. We then find Ron Allen and Jamie Peters in his best qualifying for his return to Split 2 this season. He'll start out of P12. Row 7, we then find ourselves back with Darryl Callahan and Matty Parker of Nova Simsports with the top 14 cars on the grid. Row 8, we find Dave Duddle and Nathan Favero alongside each other as well. To row 9, we find Tony Chapman and Chris Blanchard. P2 in the championship is Chris. Hasn't qualified so well tonight, but I suspect that his race strategy may get him a little bit further forward if he can help it. To row 10 in the top 20, we find Dom Grundy and Peter Baxter for the top 20 cars on the grid here tonight. Row 11, we then find ourselves with Mick Clifton and Brett Taylor for the top 22. I believe Brett Taylor wins the Battle of the Bretts for qualifying tonight, so that's one ticked off for him.
Nice to see Brett up there. Yep.
Yeah, we'll see if he can win it for the race tonight as well. Row 12 is Matty Monday and Andrew Galley alongside each other as well. Row 13, we find Todd Duggan and Abel Verben then for the top 26 cars. To row 14, we find Brenton O'Brien and Michael Quain for the top 28 entries as well. Row 15, we find Brett Fisher and Joel Oosterval for the top 30 starters here this evening. Brett Horsell and James Boardman will then start in behind them for the 16th row of the grid. To row 17, we find Jeremy Bush and Yusuf Korfiatis for the top 34. To the top 36 cars, Mario Reali and Andrew Listener make up the 18th row of the grid. And behind them, we have Sean Cullen and Scott Weston then for the top 38. And with some pit lane starts happening here tonight as well, we'll have Scott McCune starting ahead of Paul Burns and Craig Miller out of pit lane.
There you go. I tell you what, there's a couple of drivers down there that I didn't expect to see further down the field, but as we were saying before, it's just getting a lot stronger throughout the whole field. One
other change I have noticed as well, Brett, that I failed to mention about Road Atlanta and how it's changed is where the start line is now classified here at Road Atlanta. Previously, it was classified further up the road, closer to turn 1. It's now been pushed back to where the finish line is at the bridge, right alongside pit lane. What does this mean? Well, this means for those drivers who are just outside of the top 10 and further back, they're starting right around the corner, Brett, which means they are going to be under pressure here off of this race start.
Revs rising.
Hopefully for them, they can make the most of it. Revs are rising. Lights are going to go up as well as we get ready for racing here at Road Atlanta. And it was a hot start for the pole sitter here tonight. Bruce Tanek. Horrid run, though, for that's one of those M1 cars. I think it might be Darryl Callahan off in the grass back there to before turn 1 as we come up through one for the first time. Tanek with a hot start. Jones and Buckland battling away.
Yeah, Tanek's got a fantastic start off there to get that far in front in just 1 or 2 corners. That's great. There's some action behind.
There is. Matty Monday has gone round. Some contact back there. Is that Nathan Favero possibly who made some contact with him? I'm not sure. As other cars are just struggling to sneak their way through. But some early damage as Duggan gets caught up here with our listener. Bit of contact there down through the S's as well. But for the race leaders, they've come up trumps. They've come up nice and clean as well. And for Tanek, Jones and Buckland, they currently sit on the podium with 36 laps to go when we cross the start-finish line.
Look at that lead that Tanek's got already. And back to Jones. Jones, great to see him have another really good crack. What's he got in the cupboard tonight to see can he complete that and keep that car out there? Ball, big, little bit of a lunge there. Kokoschke having a bit of a crack at Buckland. Buckland obviously last week finished top of the tail.
Well, you see Cesar here as well having a go at Viger.
Yeah.
Wants to get this done around the outside. He looked for the inside at 10.8. Couldn't quite get there. He'll have to tuck back in off the exit of 12 though, but he's hungry for early positions is Cesar, and looking at the M1 cars of Callahan and Allen behind him, who want to try and run away as quickly as possible as Parker getting put under pressure here from Chapman and Peters as well.
Tell you what, an intense couple of first few laps. Oh, there's another car up there side by side, further up the grid there. I mean, there's some... These trackers, I was going to say that before when you were reading out the track map, it's got a few nice little nuances throughout the track. There's probably about 4 or 5 sections on the track that, you've got to really tick that box and get it right. And if you make a mistake, it can become undone very, very quickly. And as we look, that turn coming out of over the hill there, that's one that really can make your night end very quickly. Sort of sitting on with Matty Parker at the moment in the second lap.
Doing a great job at the moment. There's Matt Parker right on board with him. Tucked up in behind Andrew Hoffman at the moment. Again, this is some of the old guard of Split 2. Again, some of those returning drivers from Split 3 of Chapman and Peters in behind them as well. Of course, both of those drivers have got some Split 2 experience. Peters with more of the two of them. Of course, Chapman in behind, just ahead of him. Has only ever had one season in Split 2, and it was... he didn't go quite as well as he's been going this season. Definitely some improvement has been seen from Tony Chapman after his time in Split 3, which is great to see from him as we're already getting some pit stops here. Lap 2, of course, critical lap tonight was lap 1. So Blanchard, Baxter, Clifton, O'Brien, Galley, Fisher, Oosterval all into pit lane as well. There's a little bit of war wounds there on the front of Oosterval's car. Brett, was there maybe a little kiss on your rear end coming into pit lane then?
Yeah, there was a huge kiss on my rear end, and unfortunately... it slightly distracted me, and I actually overshot my pit bay, and it took a few seconds to get it back into the thingo. And again, that was a major stuff up by me.
I know what the problem is there, Brett. Last weekend, you were too busy worrying about if another driver can get their car in the box correctly, and you just had to put the jack under it. This week, you're like, where's my jack stand? I've got to park it myself this time. So that's cost you a bit of time there to Boardman and to Oosterwall.
Unfortunately, Oosterwall got caught out by the cones being shortened. He hadn't practiced the pit slot. He did actually send me a message later on the race and say, I'm sorry about that. I didn't realise that the cones were so close to the... To where they were, and it's all good, we move on, but it did catch me out too, big pun up the rear, but it is what it is and you move on.
So of course the strategy for those drivers who've just come in with critical lap being lap 1, they're hoping or anticipating possibly an early, so there's been a little bit of fire here between them, but they're anticipating the possibility of a safety car, Brett. Now, Road Atlanta, don't let it fool you, can be quite sustainable in terms of getting us a safety car. I would say it's up and around about a 60% chance to get us one here tonight as Quain and Cullen come into pit road for the first time here tonight.
Have a look at Jones. Jones is closing hard on Tannick at the moment. Now, Tannick was able to pull away at the start, but have a look at this Jones right on his tail. He's tucked himself right up. Is he going to have a bit of a lunge in this little hairpin thing up further? No, backs out it and just says, look, I'll live to fight another day here. But he's definitely got some pace in this car for sure. I mean, we've seen over the few weeks that we've been kicking off this season 27 with, that Jones has definitely got some pace. He just needs to sort of get his pit strats down, and he'll be absolutely up here for battling because he's really quick on track.
Well, it's really been the story of his Split 2 career thus far, Brett, hasn't it? The story has been for Michael, it's been if he got the pit strategy correct or if he had a spotter, he'd be really, really tough to beat out there, ultimately. I mean, because of his pace and how consistent he is, he would be one of the toughest drivers to beat in the split. So that little... Have a
look at this top 4. Sorry to cut you off there, Hamish, but have a look at this top 4.
Yeah.
These boys are cracking on with it, and I think these are the names, some of the names we're going to be watching out for throughout this season. Hala Cesar in the pits.
Yeah, he is indeed. So he got sick of being stuck in behind Halil Cesar. Obviously got sick of being stuck in behind Chad Viger or Roy Clark.
Pits as well.
Maybe a little bit of an undercut attempt here from Cesar. Undercut's very strong here at Road Atlanta. Brett, probably one of the strongest pit strategies you can pull here at Road Atlanta is the undercut.
Jones.
So, but look at Jones
Jones
all over Tannic.
the exit.
He's got a great exit, does Michael Jones. Can he make a move for the race lead down at turn 6? Looks to go up the inside. Can't quite get there. And if I was Jones right now, Brett, I'd be coming in this lap because you're hounding the back of Tannic. He's not going to let you pass.
Yeah.
Come in pit lane, get the fuel into it and try and undercut him if you can.
If he's being held up at all, and it's almost the same with Kokoshi as well. Look at Kokoshi's got to run on Buckland, and he's going to have a dip on the offside.
Well, he's going to have to hang around the outside of him at 10A if he can make this move. Down at turn 10 they go. Buckland tucks back in behind him. Smart play from the championship leader. Let him go. Battle him later in the race. You know that this is, it's still a long race to go. You've got plenty of opportunity to get by him. Because if they begin to battle, it's only going to bring Schreier and Clark back into that fight with them.
Have a look. Yeah, Schreier and Clark. Clark having an absolute corker of a season so far. He just seems to have gone from strength to strength. Still on Jones here. Jones really hounding the back of Tannic at the moment. He really needs to get the job done, I think, very shortly. Or, as you said, come into pits and just relieve yourself of that pressure. We've got Hoffman and Brook in pit lane, as well as Duggan.
See as well the sort of load that these cars are under down here through turn 5. The amount of suspension movement, it's one of the reasons why the cars can get loose on the exit down there at 5 is the car gets unloaded as you sort of hit the sand and hit the curb on the right-hand side. And that's what often at times gets the rear tail around on you. Being that it's unloaded, being that the weight's all on the front, the rear end just wants to slip out. That's one of the biggest issues down there at turn 5, but these front runners are playing with it well at the moment, Brett.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, still, that gap between all of them is slightly less and slightly more than half a second. Back to Schreier. Schreier's dropped off 2.2 seconds now, but Clark is still there in the tow. And if your Viger is actually closing up that gap as well.
So there's some gaps starting to get built, and there's gaps starting to get broken down as well. Kokoschki's into pit lane, so first of the top 4 is in, and he's come straight into pit road. Now, we saw Cesar trying to go for the undercut before, Brett. He's now stuck in behind Pete Baxter and Chris Blanchard, so we'll see if he can maybe get past these guys quickly. He's got to be pretty swift about this because he doesn't want to get trapped in behind any slower traffic that might be running average lap time slower than his, because that's going to cost him time.
And that's always the damage. That's always the possibility that you do an early pit, and you come out and you've actually been held up maybe by some other drivers, and that can kill your run. Unfortunately, with Listener with Bush behind him at the moment, he's trying to chase down Paul Thesis. He's only
Brett, we are really testing your dyslexia this season.
I know. Did I get that half right?
Well, you did. You got it right, actually. Called Feartus, so you got that one correct there. The one we've got to work on this season is Zatira, which you keep on saying is Zaretta. So, yeah, Brendan Zatira.
Have I said Zaretta? Oh, what a clown. Absolute clown.
Tell you what, Roy Clark, Chad Viger, the seat up here, Brett.
He's got past now, Clark.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, Clark is... I mean, where's he sitting in the championship at the moment? I only threw that up earlier, but... somewhere pretty well. Yeah, he's coming into pits now.
He is indeed. Let me find where Roy is. So Roy's back in P21 in the championship, but he has had a strong run and then a weaker run throughout this season. So a strong run tonight will reignite that championship fight, of course, for him as Brett Taylor comes in. I just get the feeling,
Brett Taylor in pits as well, I just get that feeling that Clark has just lifted the game a bit, and especially, considering this split has really closed up a lot in times, and you can see that in the practice times and in the qualifying times and things like that. Things have really heated up. Look at McCune on Burns.
Yep, these two guys started from pit lane here tonight, so McCune and Burns are battling hard away here for position. They've got time to build up, probably need a bit of a safety car intervention to bring them back into the swing of things here tonight, having to start from pit lane earlier on. Of course, they've got the previous top 4 placed driver of Stephen Kokoschki just tucked up in behind them at the moment, so he's got a little bit of traffic to deal with.
Kokoschki, he's going to come out. Oh, geez, he took a bit of grass there. Kokoschki's going to come out swinging. And to tell you what, if these boys don't mind, they're going to have to sort of get a hurry up, or Kokoschki's going to sort of gobble them up there and start and put pressure on them. So it'll be interesting to see. Duddle having a crack at Allen at the moment in 7th and 8th. He closed the gap there for a couple of seconds.
Shreya's in the pit lane now as well, so he's going to follow the front foot of his teammate Kokoschki, who had previously come in as well. And great to have you all out there watching with us tonight in the chat. Get into the chat with us this evening. Really appreciate you being out there with us. A heap of people are already out there with us here tonight, of course. Brett, you're out there getting the punters fired up. Chapman's been out there with us.
Oh, yeah.
Brett Horsell as well. SSV Red. Nathan Favrero's been out there as well. Dukester in the chat with us here tonight as well. Andrew Rushworth, Sean Palmer in the chat with us tonight as well. Hoffy was out there with us too. Sando was in the chat with us earlier on as well. Ron Allen too. Andrew Listener. Luke Ullman as well. Pete Kelleher in the chat with us here tonight too as well. Gary Buckland watching over on the Infinity Broadcasting channel, joining us here tonight as well. So great to have you all watching with us. And I appreciate you guys supporting the V8 veterans once again here as Paul Burns and McCune are getting close together here with Kokoschki on their tail. So this is now the pressure that Kokoschki's under, because he's now trapped in traffic. He needs these guys to enter pit lane because he does not want traffic ahead of him. It's going to destroy the undercut that he's trying to go for on Buckland, Jones and Tannock.
But if you have a look at the attitude of that car, he's not mucking about. He's going to try and put some pressure on these guys very, very quickly because he knows how critical. Look how close he is now to McEwen, and he goes, great exit. He's right alongside him now. This is going to be definitely a pass here, and he's going to try and get himself up on the back of Burns later on in this run.
What a run off of turn 7 for Stephen Kokoschki. Viger, Chapman, Verban all into pit lane now. McCune's trying to come back at him here down towards turn 10. Can they keep themselves in a line of stern? They do indeed, and they continue this fight forward. We might focus on this for a minute here, Brett, because Kokoschki, he's going to be in for a war right now with Burns in front of him.
Yeah.
And he's got to try and maximise.
Brett Horsell, Listener, and Monday in pits. But have a look at this. He knows he's going to have to get on with it because he's... Yep. And that's exactly the attitude we saw in the car. That was fantastic. And look at him go for the crack here on the inside of Burns.
Yeah, up at turn 1. A late move, but a great move for Stephen Kokoschki. Watson McCune as well. He wants to pick up the pieces of this as McCune. Great bit of racing from these guys right now as McCune sneaks the spot past Paul Burns in a great effort up at turn 3. So Burns loses a 2-for-1 special at turn 1. He's got to try and get a move on now to get this spot back from McCune. I don't think this is over just yet though, Brett.
No, definitely not. Very, very impressive with Kokoschki though. Coming through that little pack there, knowing the mission he had to get past these two guys, he's got that done. And have a look at him now. He's already starting to have a breakaway. So 0.7 of a second up the road from McCune. So, like that the guy's got some pace and he knows what he wants to do and he's going to make it happen. So that was really, really good to watch.
So Kokoschki now builds up himself a little bit more gap over both McCune and Burns, battling away with him, and that's how quickly it can happen between them as well. As we run down towards turn 10, McCune just gets it through. Look at how aggressive, though, Kokoschki's driving that car. He's on the ragged edge. Brenton O'Brien's putting some pressure on Michael Schreier. Now, O'Brien's taken a significantly shorter stop on the first run through pit lane, only 5.6 seconds, so no tyres on that first stop for O'Brien. Just a bit of fuel, so obviously he's looking for a one tyre stop strategy tonight here at Road Atlanta for the Evolution Racing Team driver.
Obviously done some testing and figured out that the tyres are going to last long enough, it's a strat he's going to go for.
So Cesar now finally gets past Chris Blanchard as well, who they were battling away with for quite a few laps there. But Bruce Tannock, Michael Jones, both of these guys still closely tucked up in and amongst each other right now, and this battle continues for the top 3. Darryl Callahan, Ron Allen, the top 5 at the moment. Dave Duddle up and amongst the top 6 with Jamie Peters, Dom Grundy, Matt Parker, Yusuf Gorfidis is inside of the top 10 as well, but some pit stops have been occurring, so that's kind of dropped these guys out of it just a little bit. There's Kokoschki and McCune. This was the battle pack we were watching just before Bretters. Lap 12 is about to be commenced as Duddle comes into pit lane.
It'll be interesting to see when Tannock and Jones come in for their pits and see where they're going to be placed as far as Kokoschki goes, because Kokoschki has had an absolute corker of a run after he did his pit stop. But Tannock and Jones have been battling each other, and they would have had Tannock would have had Jones in the mirror. So I wonder whether the lap times are going to reflect that when we see that all balance out.
Tell you what, the draft has been very, very strong down this back stretch here tonight. Multiple moves have been made thus far as Brett Taylor and Andrew Galley battle away as well here at this stage. Andrew's nephew, Justin Wood, down in split 3. Brett, it's gone 3-0 this season. Thus far in race wins, as is Mr. Mark Peck down in split 4. So Andrew's got a little bit of work to do if he wants to try and show up his nephew up here in split 2.
But I tell you what, Andrew is he's a good racer, and I tell you what, he's just like we've seen that. I think last week he just pushed forward, and just got that feeling he's just on the move. He's just a very consistent driver, and just puts what he needs to do down. And I think he develops throughout the race, and he just makes things happen. Pretty
important point for you here as well, Brett. So Roy Clark's been through pit lane. He's exited pit lane ahead of Michael Schreier. So there has been some gain for Roy Clark throughout that pit stop there for him. Dom Grundy being put under pressure here from Matt Parker and Yusuf Corfides as well. Scott McCune. Scott McCune's off the track. That car is off the road. He was around no one, Brett. I have to wonder if this thing is either money shifted into the corner or if he's caught some curb, but there's no way he'd end up out there at that trajectory without the rear end coming around. That thing's not moving. It's not moving. No. I wonder, is this going to be our first safety car of the evening? Cars are coming into pit lane in anticipation. Cesar's in, Viger's in, Blanchard, Duddle and Galley. I mean, it's worth the risk. These guys are all in. And the safety car's moving, Brett. That safety car is moving.
There's 9 drivers that haven't done a pit stop yet. So they are going to be severely disappointed. They are going to be very disappointed, but they're disadvantaged because there's a lot of drivers that have come in for their first pits and they're now completing their compulsory, and they can get home from here.
Well, the safety car
is going to hurt these.
It will. It's going to hurt these guys significantly. Those top 9 cars have still got to complete 2 stops. Now, the safety car has to try and pick up the race leader, which should be Bruce Tannick or one of those top 3, Tannick, Jones or Buckland when they come out of pit lane. So everyone else should be allowed to come past the safety car driver. I believe the first cars out behind him are Viger and Cesar, but they're not coming past, Brett.
Yeah, no.
So they're stuck right now, and this is gonna bury their strategy. They're stuck behind the safety car.
Oh.
So these guys are stuck here.
Yeah.
They've got to try and come past. I mean, they're allowed to come past. They're not the race leaders, they should just be able to drive past.
This is going to hurt.
This is costing them massive time. This is going to bury them down within, just within the top 15, maybe even only just the top 20.
Now they're going past. Now they've been released.
That's a huge loss for those guys because that's going to cost them massively.
Yeah.
Because ultimately that strategy, if they were allowed past the safety car, that would have pulled them straight up and around the top 5.
Yeah.
Oh, that is a real heart-and-mouth moment for those guys.
Some of the drivers that probably just caught up to the back of the pace car and got released pretty quickly, but I would say how many? You probably would say 6 or 7, maybe 8 drivers would have been disadvantaged by that.
Oh, it was more than that. I mean, it was maybe even close to 10. I think it was down as far as even Quain, Horsell, all those guys were in that train.
Yeah, right.
So maybe even closer to 10 drivers, just about. Yeah. We're all disadvantaged because of that. So, but that's racing. It's one of those things that happens.
It happens.
So Gary Buckland is the corrected race leader. So, well, he is the race leader, so he'll get picked up by the safety car. Everyone else is allowed to come past the safety car except for him and anyone in behind him directly as well. So he's been picked up by the safety car, and now they
uncorrected order at the moment. The first uncorrected is Stephen Kokoschny.
It is Stephen Kokoschny, and P2 corrected is Roy Clark.
Roy Clark and Schreier.
P3 is Michael Schreier. So those top 8 cars need a second pit stop. So this is an important point. This is an important point to make. We need to keep an eye on those top 8 cars that they do actually come in again. Because if they don't, they're going to get disqualified because they would be breaking the driving standards rule of having to do 2 compulsory pit stops.
Two pit stops.
So that's going to be an important one to watch tonight for those top 8 drivers. They should all know they need 2. So they should all know that they have to come in again.
Yeah.
We'll see if that happens.
I'll tell you what, one of the big benefits of this at the moment with the second pit stop being done, Brent O'Brien up 14 spots.
Yeah, I know. I mean, unbelievable. I mean, and probably helped with that moment with the safety car, of course. That probably gave him the time that he needed to cover in that stop to some of those other drivers. I mean, this has brought him out ahead of, Viger and Co. in behind him. So this has paid to a massive benefit for O'Brien, plus the 8 cars ahead of him that need a pit. So he's going to be up and around the top 4, top 5 by the time we get the order corrected in this race. So this has worked out brilliantly for Brendan O'Brien in his positions gained tonight throughout that strategy.
So we've got all these Craig Miller and Paul Burns done 3 stops. I'm just noticing there.
Now, so that they've done that because one of their stops counts as they're starting from pit lane.
Yeah. Okay, I'm with you. Yep. Thank God you're all over it, Hamish.
I'm all over it, but don't worry. All over this like glue. So we're about to get set for a restart here in just a moment's time. Scott McCune's just waiting for his tow back to pit lane, and we're waiting to decontaminate some drivers who are a lap down in the field as well. When we get ourselves going once again, Gary Buckland will be at the control of the field, but the championship leader, his strategy hasn't paid out for him tonight. He's going to have to do another stop to get this car home. This is going to drop him down the order massively. You'd have to say, Brett, with such a short race on offer tonight, probably a nail in the coffin in the hopes of a top 10.
Yeah. Well, I just did my counting before. If I counted correctly, I think there's 22 drivers that have done both of their compulsory pit stops. So all of those drivers are going to be in a really good position.
There are 9 cars who have not completed their compulsory stops. The one that's outside of the top 10 is Jamie Peters back in P20. So he needs to be able to complete his one as well. But there's been some good gainers out of this. Obviously, Scott Weston up 13 into P25 as well. Oosterval up 4, Boardman up 5. Baxter's up 4 at the moment. Taylor up 4. Chapman up 3. Listener up 3. Burns and Miller, as we said, are up 4 as well. O'Brien up 14. Grundy and all those guys who are up positions, they're going to lose those positions very, very quickly up inside the top 10 because they do need that second stop. So we can kind of discredit those positions gained because they are going to have to give them back, and they'll likely actually lose positions when they come out of pits. The drivers, though, that I think are probably very safe at the moment, Brett, depending how long they go, Bruce Tannick, Michael Jones. The reason for this is Michael Jones is going to have a very short stop on his next run. He's definitely going to give up 30 seconds in pit lane. But he's so fast that he'll probably make that up on track. And I think he could still get himself within the top 30. Bruce Tannick's incredibly quick as well, but he's still got, obviously, some time to give up in pit lane. I think both those guys should be safe to fight their way through the field and get themselves maybe a top 25 by the end of the race. But a top 20 or a top 15 is pretty much out of the realm now for them.
Yeah. But what I was going to say too is that, depending on how well they go past, the cars that they come out in front of, behind, sorry, we saw Kokoschki go, clean up the 2 cars very, very quickly now. But if there is a bigger pack that they come up on, they might find it harder to get past those cars, and that might hamper them a little bit more. So they might not come through the pack as fast as what they hope to anyway. Yeah,
no, that's right. Exactly right. And Nathan Ferrer saying 15 lap first hit. Normally you max it out front. Not always, Nathan. With the critical lap being so early in the fuel strategy, being that it was lap 1, sometimes it is actually the safer option to pit earlier in the race because of the point that you can not only offset your pit stop if there is this happening with a safety car, you're not caught out, and you're not caught out with a single pit stop next to your name. The probably most notable race we've ever seen previously where this has happened was Homestead Miami quite a few seasons ago, where the bottom half of the field had all come in and done their second stop, and the top half of the field had not pit yet. So they all had to come in for their first stop. It completely changed the order of the race and completely changed how the race actually ended up. Winner on that day, I believe, was Troy Sipple of Quantum Racing. So, it has happened before. It's definitely, this is not going to be the last time it's happened. But that's one of the main reasons why you'll see a lot of the cars strategizing around pitting early, especially in these shorter races, because you never know when the safety car is going to come out, and you don't want to get caught out needing another pit stop in a very short 150k race, because your race is going to be over before you know it. And arguably the top 8 cars, Brett, as we said, hopes of a top 10, it's out the window now.
And you wonder whether safety car just pulling away now. Hopefully he gets back to the pit safely.
Well, I've noticed that Lucas Burt's actually been kicked out of the safety car seat this week. It's been given to Sean Vandermeulen, so I think he's actually been given a race ban for his mistake last week out at Road America. If you missed that,
he's going to sit in the...
He's not even in the session, so I don't even know what he's doing. But yeah, if you missed what happened last week, go watch it after tonight's race. Road America is one of our many safety car calamities that we've had. So Gary Buckland has control of the field. He is not the corrected race leader, though, of this field. He does need to do a second pit stop. He'll go green, though, as they come down through turn 12. And it's green flag running once again here at Michelin Raceway. Road Atlanta as Buckland puts the pressure on him early. Dale Callahan up in the top 3. Jones, Allen, Parker, Corfetis, Grundy, the top 8. But the corrected race leader is Kokoschki as Tanek goes for the move up the exit of turn 1. He looks for this down through turn 2 and 3. Gets the job done. Buckland has to take an exit off the road because he knows there was nowhere to go.
Oh. Now that's going to hurt Buckland with a slowdown as well, probably. So he's going to have to bleed that slowdown off fairly quickly. Yeah, I don't know whether Buckland made the right choice there. He was actually still looked like he had plenty of room there. And Tanek would have had to actually give him room on the exit of that corner too. But anyway, he's decided to do that. And he might have, has he bled that
he's bled
time off?
Now.
I think he's
bled it
yeah,
by now. So.
He has. So, look, he's lived to fight another day. But Tanek in front at the moment. And we've got a couple of cars. Grundy. What's happened there?
Yeah, he's just been knocked back a little bit there. So this looks to be a little bit of a scramble now. Of course, Grundy still needs...
Look at that tree, though.
The tree's lighting up.
Between the whole lot.
It's lighting up. Watch for O'Brien as well, down towards turn 10 on the outside of Grundy here. Now, the thought has to become, Brett, is it worth Dom battling these positions? Because ultimately, he's going to lose them anyway when he comes through pit lane.
Yeah,
is it worth him battling with these guys when, in fact, he needs to come through pit road? Or would he be better off just letting them go and then coming through pit road eventually, or even just coming in now and trying to make up for lost time?
Well, yeah, I mean, this was the question I was going to raise, is when do you take the hurt?
Yep.
You know, I mean...
You're going to have to
Do you hope another safety car comes out to at least get you on the back of the train closer, or do you just take the hurt? And I don't know. It's a tough one. But have a look at that train. That goes all the way. Kokoschki is the only one that's the 1.3, 1.4 seconds out. The rest of the whole field, except for Real now.
Sorry, I've just noticed, Brett, Halil Cesar has just dropped from the tower. I think we've just had a disappearing act of... Well, who was one of the top 4 in the championship. And now this is going to hurt him massively because he has just dropped from the session. The beauty for him is if he can get back in the session, Brett, and make the end of lap 27, he'll make 75% of the race distance and at least get points for that position at the back end of the field. So, but that's taking him right out of it now. So it wouldn't have even mattered if he'd managed to get past the safety car in the end, Brett. He's still disconnected. Because of,
that's unfortunate. There's nothing worse than that happening.
No.
Bruce Tanek doing the fastest lap of the race now with a 1:21.814. I was just going to mention before, when we see that tree really close after the safety car, what was disappointing to see, there was a couple of large gaps.
James Boardman!
We've seen Boardman.
James Boardman with a wild ride through turn 12. Unbelievable.
Gets it back on track. And
I've heard through a little bird, Brett, as well off the back of that moment. I'm hearing it now. Apparently, in the back seat of James's car, I'm hearing it now. Apparently, his daughter had snuck into his race car on his last pit stop and had pulled the headset off whilst he was driving then.
Oh, Struth.
Unbelievable.
No wonder he went off track.
He forgot to lock the door and she snuck in. Oh, no. Unfortunate.
What I was going to say before too, and it's a little bit of a bugbear of mine under safety car, especially for some of those guys further down the pack, as we see Viger just having a bit of a crack at O'Brien into here. Did you get that done? Side by side, they go into that turn, coming out the other side. O'Brien's got the slight advantage, but look at Chapman coming through as well. Looks like Chapman's going to get the advantage here coming onto the front straight. Weiger's not done with it, though.
He's not done. Weiger's all over Tony Chapman as they run up towards turn one. Watch for Pete Baxter and Chris Blanchard in behind them, as well as Chapo trying to go around the outside of Weiger here. Watch for Baxter, though, to sneak up his inside as well.
It's not over yet.
It's not over. They're still side by side, but they've been side by side since turn 10 as Weiger finally remains in position ahead of Tony Chapman. But watch for Baxter. He'll be hungry for positions here.
Yeah.
Of course, Pete
could have been messy, but I'll tell you what, they come out through clean.
They did indeed. Pete will be having a big race tomorrow night. Premier Endurance League action. Pete Baxter participating in the GT3 Limited Series. He's had some decent runs this season, Brett, as part of the Challenger class of that series has Pete. So it'll be interested to see how he does tomorrow when he goes racing in that series once again.
Look at that train behind Weiger.
I mean, it's
all the way down to Monday.
It's a kilometre-long freight train at this point, Brett, isn't it? It's one of those ones where you're standing on the platform and you're waiting for it to end. I mean,
can't cross.
Unbelievable.
Can't cross here. Can't cross here. You know.
Yeah.
Not yet. Can I go? No, not yet.
Brett Horsell looking at the inside of Michael Quain down there as well at turn 10. So it's heating up in the mid-pack, Brett, and it shows how close it's getting as Peters finally gives in and comes in for his final stop of the race. So he gives in, he comes in, he'll be in very clean air towards the end of this race, but ultimately this is going to drop him right to the back of the field. Yeah,
Chapman just commenting in the
oh my God, Michael Jones. I just saw Michael Jones come through the S's and he just took half the car on the grass. It was unbelievable. He was so loose through there. But he's putting all sorts of pressure on Darryl Callahan in P2. Buckland's in behind them as well. Ron Allen inside the top 5.
Well, Buckland's just going to play it smart, I reckon. Just going to sit back just a little bit, seeing what's going up ahead. He's going, no, I don't want a piece of this. You know, I don't want things to go from worse to worse. But I just noticed, I was saying, Chapman just sort of that little run we saw before, he backed off and just slot back in, and I was just, smart move. That probably could have been the for Buckland. That could have been Jones.
The slider to lock up to Michael Jones. He's going to get the move made, though, is he? No, Callahan's still there. He's still with him as they come down through turn 12.
No, he's got it now.
And watch for Buckland too. He wants to try and continue to apply and massage this pressure to the M1 News Cars entry of Darryl Callahan ahead of him. And an unbelievable race thus far. I mean, these guys are racing for sheep stations. They're not even racing for a podium right now. They're doing it for pride. And they're doing it for where you're going to end up at the end of the race. Interestingly enough, Brett, change for the corrected race lead. Michael Schreier's now gotten past his teammate Kokoschki to get into the corrected P1 position as they tuck him behind Yusuf Korfeatis.
I wonder whether that was just from, because the pack is quite condensed there. Well, it was just an opportunity Schreier's taken to gain one up on Kokoschki, or Kokoschki made a mistake and he got past, or what? But have a look at Mr. Clark. Mr. Clark is just Roy tucked in there as well.
What a run tonight for Roy Boy.
Yeah.
Good old Crash Clark. Well, he's taken that nickname and he's crumpled it up in a piece of paper apparently, and he is running incredibly well tonight.
Yeah, Red Racer Clark.
Yeah, Red Racer Clark. Got Ben Brook in behind him as well. They're having a good run here tonight. Dom Grundy to Brenton O'Brien, but Brenton is the corrected P5 runner at the moment with that car ahead of him.
Weston looks like he's getting close there. Probably
is indeed. Weston's covering the inside though. They've got Galley ahead of them, and then Andrew Hoffman in behind as well.
Since this pace car, the field has not spread out much at all. We're only seeing about 2 or 3 sort of larger gaps, but it has really choked the chicken right down.
Oh, it has. It has completely tightened it up throughout the field in terms of mid-pack action here tonight. Chapo under pressure now from Blanchard in behind him as well. So Blanchard's gotten past Pete Baxter now for that position, and battle continues on.
Yep. On lap 23.37, they are ticking away pretty fast here tonight.
Ticking away fast and battling hard as always, and fast and furious, if you will.
Clark on Kokoschki and Kokoschki on Schreier.
Yep,
they got really close there for a second.
Well, continuing to sit in the line of stern. These guys will know that the cars ahead of them need the other stop, so I think they'll be happy here just to continue to massage some pressure on each other. as well.
I don't know. I mean, Kokoschki doesn't sort of, look as the guy who's going to be patiently sitting behind someone. I think he's someone who's going to go,
It is his teammate,
you know what?
though, to be fair. It is his teammate, so I don't think he wants to race him too hard. As Parker and Allen battle away here as well, inside for the top 5.
All he has to do is say, mate, I'm coming through here.
Battles have been epic thus far tonight, and this excites me for the next few weeks, Brett. I mean, St. Pete next week, I am as giddy as ever, Brett. I mean, if there was ever a street circuit that could challenge Long Beach as my favourite street circuit on iRacing, it is St. Pete. I am super excited, and I get both of them this season. To make it better, if we had the Red Bull ring as well, it'd be fantastic. But yeah, I'm excited for St. Pete next week. VAR is going to be great as well. And again, it's not a track that I particularly enjoy driving, but there is one thing I can say, Brett. Every broadcast I've ever done at VAR, I've had great racing, no matter what it was, whether it was 9 cars or whether it was 30 cars. It's always had great racing, and that's one thing I can admit for VAR.
Taking nothing away tonight, because tonight is probably the closest I've seen that tree light up
quite a few
all
weeks,
season so far, and probably for a lot of last season as well. It is so close, it's not funny. And it's not, I mean, they are big packs. They are huge packs, so there's a lot of pressure. Viger on O'Brien, and just gets that done. He's
trying to make his way through here. Chad Viger, he's made that move made.
Yeah.
Made that move made. What a great use of words there for myself. But
that's all right, mate.
He's made the move work. There we go.
Yeah. I've said a lot worse. So Kofetis, Parker, Allen, Buckland, Callahan, Jones and Tannick still coming in for their second stop. So, as we were saying before, Schreier still is our race leader on corrected order, with Kokoschki chasing him down very, very hard. Roy Clark in a fantastic little position with Benjamin Brook not far behind, and Dom Grundy.
So don't get confused as well. These cars are our race leaders technically. Michael Schreier, Stephen Kokoschki and Roy Clark. You can see there on the tree who has made their 2 stops here tonight. Those 1-stoppers must come into pit lane one more time, and the laps are ticking away here, Brett. If they don't come in one more time, they will get disqualified from the race.
Yeah.
And that's big in terms of championship. It's a 4-strop round then pretty much, because it means you get net 0, and it also affects your license points as well.
Who is new enough to the game, as in V8 Vets, to think that there was only 1 stop tonight without reading the old
No. What I would say is, Brett, because after what I've seen this week of people questioning this in the sub-regs, it was not specified 2 CPSs in the sub-regs, but it doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be, as Ron Allen comes into pit lane. It's always 2 unless specified otherwise. So if it's not specified in the regs, it means that it is 2.
Exactly.
If they specify it's 1, then you know it's 1. If they specify it's 3, you know it's 3.
Yeah.
If it's not specified, then you know it's 2. It's always 2. It's in the rules. So if you don't realise that, that's unfortunately on you.
Raining.
That's right. That's the same. But they don't specify the weather unless the weather's different.
Yeah.
Still
some great battling going out here. 26 on lap 26 of 37. And we're just watching Schreier and Kokoschki. Now we're back to Brett Taylor. This is the battle of the Bretts. He's winning at the moment. Because I tell you what, Brett Horsell and Brett Fisher, that other clown, is way further down. So,
there he is. King of the Jack stand.
Yeah. King of the Jack stand.
Mr. Brett Fisher
back
there.
What a fantastic weekend. What a cracking weekend.
Brett Taylor's doing very well right now, with David Duddle ahead of him. Mick Clifton in behind them as well. Abel Verben too. Andrew Galley up 3. Scott Weston, great job tonight, up 16 thus far on the road here this evening for the GMK Logistics crew. Darryl Callahan's into pit lane for his final stop of the race. So we're starting to get to corrected order. Decontamination, as we often call it as well. Halil Cesar, by the way, is back out there. So he's back in the session trying to get to... This is the final lap of 75%, by the way. So as long as he makes it,
so he's on
lap. He's technically on lap 24. So technically lap 25. He has to make 2 more laps.
So he'll
make his 2 more laps, then he'll get his 75% of the race distance as well.
Because Is that the second time this season that's happened, or last
No.
season something else happened?
He had-
Side by side, Boardman
Yep,
and
Boardman and Burns battling away up
Burns.
through turn one. Burns runs
Oh,
wide
and
off the
Burns.
exit. Burns has run wide into the grass. That drops him bulk positions. And now he's been trapped in behind Miller and Monday, with Boardman chasing down Reali. So these guys are battling hard, even for rear-end performances here tonight.
rear-end performances.
Well, being that they're at the rear of the field. But they have
No, I
made
know what
those
you
3
mean.
stops
It
back
just-
after Darryl Callahan, Ron Allen, and
You
Jacob
want me to
Pearce have
move
come
on,
through pit
don't you?
lane. Oh, Brett, you know, sometimes the joke's meant to be left out the back door. As
No,
Michael
it's not,
Schreier
no.
looks to go around the outside of Corfetus down at 10A and 10B. Can the Synergy Sim Racing car get this job done? His
Kokoschki.
teammate wants to come through as well. He does.
Yeah, he does.
There's
does.
Roy
But
Clark
he's
too.
Also,
He's been
nearly-
absolutely
nearly-
left out to dry, Brett, like forgotten washing on the line.
Yep. Those 3 boys passed nice and cleanly. I'll tell you what, that was great. Now, Clarkie would be happy he's got past there as
And
well.
Viger's got past Brooke. He's taking advantage of this, but Brooke's coming back at him right now. Watch for Grundy as well. Although he's a non-factor right now, he still needs that second stop, Brett, crucially in this race. Unbelievable point of the night. We've got a little under 10 laps to go as Tannick's just hit the halfway point of lap 28.
Tannick has actually just launched himself out in front. Now with the 3.2 seconds over Jones. Jones will not be happy that's happened, but, you know, same again. Like, he's trying to actually minimise that, you know, that second stop, trying to get himself further up. So he is really having a dig.
He is indeed. Buckland been gapped out a little bit now as well. So is Parker, but then watch that battle. Synergy Sim Racing cars looking for their first 1-2 finish here in Split 2. And I don't believe, but I'll be happy to get corrected by Pete Kelleher, who I know is in the chat
Blanchard on
tonight.
Chapman.
He is.
Just got,
Or Chapman's,
just got that move done.
He has indeed. So Blanchard continues on. Pete Kelleher's in the chat with us tonight. I'd love to see if he can correct me on this if I'm wrong.
Buckland
I
and Tannick
don't
in
believe.
pits.
I don't believe Synergy Sim Racing has ever taken a 1-2 finish in the Vets. So if this happens tonight, that'll be a massive achievement for that team. As you said, Tannick and
Tell you
Buckland
now,
have now come through pit lane. It's a
I'll tell you
great
now,
start
you
for
need to
them.
almost be cross-eyed to cover that whole field with what's going on at the moment, because
I
there's
know.
so much action on here. It's unbelievable. Viger closed the gap up on Corfetus.
We're still
Corfetus?
waiting
Corfetus?
for that entry into. You got to run
But
the
he's
first time,
got
Brett. Don't worry.
Yeah. Now I'm stressing. But yeah, that's not for position, so he shouldn't stress about that too much. But he wants to get up
He's
on
gotta-
the back
he's
of
gotta
Clark.
stress
Clark's
about
his
Brooke.
next spot.
He's got a pressure about.
Yeah,
he's got pressure from Brooks. That's the one he's got to worry about. But then he's
Yeah.
right in behind him. But I mean, you look at the tree, and it's unbelievably close all throughout. I mean, even more so on our end for the timing, because we don't just have orange and yellow; we have red, and red is real close. So it is tight right now between this whole train, and these guys have got nowhere to go. It's one of the toughest circuits in terms of a full-time race circuit, Brett, for passing opportunities. This is one of the toughest circuits for it. There's plenty of opportunities, but you can counter them. You can defend them easily as Jones comes in. We expect Parker to come in as well. He does indeed. So Michael Schreier, the corrected race leader, will finally take the race lead after the cars ahead of them have finally come in.
Tannick has come out in 34th. So he's got a lot of work to do. Parker in pits as well.
So this is where those drivers sit that we mentioned. Now, I'm interested to see where Jones comes out, because obviously he needed that shorter stop, but there was a bit of gap between him and Tannick.
Yeah. So I'm not he's probably come right out near either just in front or just behind.
He's come out behind him.
Where is he?
He's come out behind him. So that
yeah.
gap that Tannick had before the stop has worked out very well. And then there's the lap traffic of McCune, who's just separating them at the moment for that position. And Pete has confirmed it for us. This would be their first 1-2 finish as a team in V8 Veterans, which is not a small achievement, folks, I must say. And there's not many teams out there which have taken 1-2 finishes here in V8 Veterans across all 4 splits. So this puts them in rarefied air if they can get this 1-2 finish tonight. It's very difficult to do.
Look at Clark would be just relishing in the moment at the moment, sitting there nicely tucked up. little bit of a gap there to Kokoschki at the moment, but he would be absolutely wrapped with the position he's in at the moment.
He would. I think Roy, as much as he was want P2 or even the win, the longer this goes on, the more likely he is just to sit there and stay in P3, knowing what points he's going to get from this. And this is the change of mindset I think we've been seeing from Roy Clark, previously, throughout this season of try and maintain your position and get a good finish. And this is what we want to see from Roy, because we know he's got the speed, we know he's got the ability. He's got to put it all together to make up that perfect puzzle piece of a season for himself. And it's not outside the realm for him to finish in the top 5 of the championship, Brett. I seriously think
definitely
he can
not.
do it, especially if he drives like this.
Yeah, and he just wants to stay tucked up just in case if Schreier makes a little error and Kokoschki's got the run, because he's just tucked right up behind him there, that if he's close enough, he might sneak through as well. So, anything can happen here.
What I might do is, if SSR can do this tonight, I might go back and look through the annals of history and find any teams that have had 1-2 finishes in the vets throughout the history.
Well, you're just about to be able to crack it off the top of your head, wouldn't you?
Well, I know that we have. So I know Infinity Motorsport have. I know that
See, have a look at Kokoschki. I mean,
he's right on him.
Pace there.
He's on him. He's got pace, but he looks comfortable. He looks comfortable behind him. And I think as well, the thought for Kokoschki might be, this could be Michael's first race win in only his second start. I mean, it'd be one of the quickest runs of a debut to a race win as Corfitas finally comes in to pit lane. So
the only one that hasn't done 2 pit stops is Dom Grundy.
Yeah, Dom Grundy is the only one who has not done 2 stops thus far. There you go. SCR have had some as well down in split 4 previously as well. So it's another team that's taken a 1-2 finish previously as well. So there'll be many of them which have done it. I think Phil and Joel have done it too for 266. Plenty of them have done it. But yeah, 1-2 finishes, rarefied air for teams that can do it, especially here in split 2. I think split 2 is probably one of those. It's probably the one split where it has the least 1-2 finishes I think I've seen for teams to finish on. I don't think we've ever even seen a podium lockout by a single team either, Brett. So that would be rarefied if a team could do that here in split 2 as well. So Dom Grundy, the last car that needs to come into pit lane for his second pit stop. If he doesn't come in, he'll get disqualified here this evening. But Michael Schreier is the corrected race leader to Stephen Kokoschki and Roy Clark on the provisional podium at the moment. Chad Weiger, Ben Brook, they need to try and chase them down. But at this stage, Weiger's 2 seconds back. He's not looking like he's challenging these guys at the moment, as we've got 5 laps to go here at Road Atlanta.
Oh, anything can happen.
It can indeed. There's been great gains throughout the field tonight. Obviously, Brent O'Brien up 20 positions. Blanchard up 10. Taylor up 10 as McCune comes out of pit lane as well. Verben up 12. Weston up 22. Oosterwall up 13. Horsell, Listener, they're up 11 and 15 apiece tonight. It's a great effort from Andrew Listener. Yeah. Paul Burns up 12 as Reale's in the pit lane once again. So there's some big double-digit gainers thus far.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to have a tough choice here, Brett, separating who our driver of the day contenders could possibly be. I've got a name at the top of my list right now. I'm going to keep me lips tight sealed, or sealed tight at the moment, before I reveal that singular name. And then it's trying to figure out the other 3 that we can put forward.
In the background.
Weiger with a big slide. O'Brien comes past, as does Grundy and as does Brett O'Brien. It's a great drive from O'Brien tonight.
On the tail of Weiger as well. So he's going to look almost up alongside him now.
And he looks for this down the inside at 10A. Can he get this done?
Oh, twitchy car from Weiger. Can he hold it out there? Coming up underneath the bridge, side by side
contact.
It's a big hit.
Weiger with a massive snap. Right across the nose of Chapman and doubling off the road he goes. Down at turn 12.
That's a long way to come back from.
A massive way to come back from. That's dropped him right down the order tonight, and he'll come out in behind, ironically, Brett Fisher, Todd Duggan, and then Scott McCune is a lap down. Unbelievable. Oh, Brett doing it all with Todd. You got it done, though, in the end, but, geez, that was a tight one, Brett.
Yeah, he tried to have a crack at there coming underneath the bridge, but didn't quite get that done. We rubbed panels on the obviously on that front straight. We had a great battle going on from here. It was right on my ginger for about 5 or 6 laps. Might have even been more. But this was an absolute fantastic battle. And have a look who's shadowing in the background there. So since his pit stop, he's up 10 spots in 24th at the moment. So he'd be keen to move forward.
Indeed, Bruce Tannock down 23 into P24 now as well.
On lap 34 of 37, not many to wind out now.
Andrew Lister pointing out that SCR had a podium lockout last season in split 4. Nick Power and Dave Galley and Glenn Boyce on the podium on that day. So again, that's even more rarefied out.
Oh, geez, that was a wide
that
run
was
from
wild.
Schreier.
That was wild for both Schreier and Kokoschki, catching a bit of dirt there off the exit of turn 12.
Clark is not out of this yet.
He's not.
See Brett
hanging
Taylor
with them.
closing the gap on Baxter as well.
Yeah, as I said, I don't think I've ever seen one here in
Duddle
in
and
split 2.
Blanchard.
They're all over it, Brett. I mean, it's action everywhere. I mean, where do we look? Where do you
I
look
don't know.
tonight in terms of finding the action? I mean, there's close battles all throughout this field.
I'm working harder than a cross-eyed girl to find the bloody exit.
You see Brett Taylor's all over Pete Baxter here as well.
Brett Taylor having a great run at the moment too. Brett Taylor up 11 spots. He'd be absolutely static with that at the moment.
Fantastic race thus far tonight for Brett Taylor. I tell you what, Brett, I mean, if he could get this top 10, I think if him or Pete Baxter could get this top 10, maybe sneaking a name on the list. Possible driver of the day noms here tonight.
And Hoffman, something happened there. I didn't see what happened.
I think one of them had a little
was
drop.
I
think one of them had a blink, Brett, possibly. But
okay,
they're still battling away.
Boardman
Chad
getting past
Weiger and Boardman. So Weiger's carrying some damage after that moment as Boardman looks to come past him before turn 10. Oh, they can give themselves a handshake. They're that close through turn 9. Down to the braking zone they go. Weiger looks to hold the inside here on Boardman. Can they make it stick? Up and around the corner. Oh, he's on the sand. He's on the grass. Contact made.
Again.
Weiger off the road and into the wall.
That is pain.
Unbelievable poor luck for Chad Weiger.
Todd Duggan on myself at the moment. He closed the gap again. And closing again too. So he's got that move done. Now Bruce Tannock's on my ginger. Oh, nearly had a bit of a look back at Duggan then. But Tannock's right on our ginger and he's coming through fast. And he wants to get on with this more.
He's right on you, Brett. And he's putting the pressure on.
36 of 37.
Putting some pressure on you right now is Bruce Tannock back here in a tight battle. And we're about to get the white flag for Michael Schreier, Stephen Kokoschki, and Roy Clark in the top 3 here tonight. But what we're seeing is, though, some fantastic racing here at Road Atlanta. Looks like a bunch of fun for the majority of the field. White flag here at Road Atlanta, though. Final lap of the race. Michael Schreier leads to Stephen Kokoschki and Roy Clark as they come through turn 1. We saw that Brooke Grundy and O'Brien are battling way in behind, but Grundy has not pit. So what it means is Dom Grundy will get disqualified post-race for not completing his 2 compulsory pit stops here tonight. He cannot serve it on the final lap. So that will knock him out, and it means that everyone else, well, they won't gain a position because technically it's a disqualified position. So but what it is you just won't get those points tonight, Brett.
No. So Clark has just dropped off the back of these two. Now, I wonder whether he's just now, happy to sort of consolidate in third, or he's just pushed the car and he's just overdriven the car last few laps trying to make a move. But anyway, I mean, that's still an absolutely fantastic position, placing for Clark. He's got to be absolutely wrapped with that.
A great race for him.
There's still a lot of racing to go on throughout the rest of this pack.
There is indeed. As we come through the Formula D section for the final time for our race leaders, Synergy Sim Racing will etch their names into the history books as Michael Schreier will get his first race win in Split 2. And it will be a 1-2 finish for SSR for the first time in the Vets. Roy Clark on the podium in behind Kokoschki. Brooke will finish on the road ahead of Brent O'Brien, David Duddle, Chris Blanchard, Tony Chapman, Pete Baxter into the top 10 tonight. Brett Taylor, Abel Verben, Mick Clifton, Scotty Weston, ahead of Andrew Galley inside of the top 15. Oosterval, Hoffman, Quain, Horsell, Listener, Favero, Duggan, yourself, Brett. Oh, there's a bit of contact there post-race with Bruce Tannick. Ahead of James Bourman, Matt Monday, Paul Burns, Jeremy Bush, Michael Jones, Gary Buckland. Oh, my God, what is happening down there with Michael Jones? More stuff happening post-race. Wow. Ron Allen, Matt Parker, Darryl Callahan, Yusuf Corfidis, Sean Cullen, Chad Viger, Mario Reale as well, Jamie Peters, Craig Miller, Halil says Scott McCune. And after all that, Tom Grundy is the only one who's a non-finisher technically because he will get disqualified post-race.
I'll tell you what, that last corner with Kokoschki, he was absolutely all out of shape there. He nearly gave that to Clark. I'll tell you now, I don't know what happened then, but that was nearly really big for Kokoschki.
So you want to hear what my name was, Brett, that I thought of?
Well, no, just put, well, you're going to put it in the thing or what?
I am.
Just put it in the thing, and I mean, what other names have you got? You'll have some names there.
I'll tell you in a moment.
Just, right.
So the 4 names available tonight for voting for the Driver of the Day nomination: Roy Clark, Pete Baxter, Brenton O'Brien, and Andrew Listener into the chat here tonight. Get your votes in, your nominations in.
Good.
Get yourselves chatted up and prepared.
What was your name?
Your name. So our results. Oh, my name was Roy Clark. It was Roy Clark. That was at the top of my list.
Oh, nice bit of staging here. The boys are going to do a burnout on the front straight there.
They are indeed.
Nice stuff.
And there is the race results for the evening as well, as we get ourselves Michael Schreier, Stephen Kokoschki, the first 1-2 finish for Synergy Sim Racing in the V8 Veterans. Ahead of Roy Clark on the podium here tonight. Ben Brook ahead of Dom Grundy. Unfortunately for Dom, he will get disqualified. Ahead of Brent O'Brien, David Duddle, Chris Blanchard, Tony Chapman, Pete Baxter, the top 10. And behind them, we had the likes of Brett Taylor, Abel Verben, Mick Clifton, Scott Weston, Andrew Galley, Joel Oosterval, Andrew Hoffman, Michael Quain, Brett Horsell, Andrew Listener for our top 20 at the end of the race as well. Hard charging award tonight. Scott Weston was up 24 positions to the end there for P14 on the road. Bruce Tannick led the most laps, so you get a bonus point for that. He'll also get a bonus lap for the fast lap of the race. And he also took pole position in the end as well after 37 laps here at Road Atlanta. Once again, as we prepare ourselves for what's to come here tonight with some possible post-race interviews, if anyone's come and have a chat to us off the podium, we're getting ourselves the post-race highlights, Brett, which will be coming our way in just a moment's notice.
Was that a bit too enthusiastic?
No, it's your favourite. It's your favourite time of the week, Brett. I know it's your favourite time of the week. Don't worry. But post-race highlights coming your way. So it all obviously started off the race start, of course, for those drivers, and a hot start for some and a struggling start for others. We saw Darryl Callahan getting caught up in the grass back there off this race start, but really it was all this mid-pack mumbo-jumbo that really got us all hot and unstuck up at the top of the hill for turn 3. So if we watch this from up here in the blimp view, we can see there a bit of contact with Monday and Duggan. And around they all go.
Did that look like...
That looked like netcode. That looked like massive netcode.
Yeah, because that was... Yeah.
And actually, I'll correct myself, it was Ron Allen in the grass and not Darryl Callahan.
I'll tell you what, Duggan did really, really well to come back as far as he did to where he finished compared to... Because of the fact that, look at him there, he's second last.
I know, and then we had a pretty tough one down here for Matt Parker as well down at turn 10A, 10B with Andrew Hoffman. Bit of contact between them. There we go, and off the road he ends up, unfortunately there for Monday. Tom Duggan as well with an off track up here at turn 5. We mentioned it tonight that it was going to be one to keep an eye on, and that is a moment to worry about. He kept it off the wall though, luckily enough.
Yeah. Lived another day.
For him.
Lived to live another day.
But it was fairly clean in the first portion of this race, but we had Sean Cullen off the road at one stage as well here this evening too. So this was the moment with Andrew Hoffman and Sean Cullen down there. So that's a big one for them as well. And then move back down the order to what brought out the safety car here tonight as well, with Scott McCune ending up off track. So it looked like a rear, or the engine locking for a compression lock, engine blows and off the road he goes. That car not going anywhere.
No.
Then gave us a little bit of chaos on the exit of pit lane as we saw the safety car exit pits. And really what it gave us was a little bit of chaos with some drivers who ended up getting caught out by this safety car when they actually came out. It caught out some drivers in terms of not taking their second stop just yet, but also actually catching them out on the exit of pit lane, not knowing that they could come past the safety car as well. And this was a pretty decent one in terms of...
Yeah, it has a pretty big impact, doesn't it?
Yeah, pretty massive impact, it must be said. So that caught out quite a few drivers, and yeah, Chad didn't know if he could actually come past the safety car. The thing I'll say is, if you're not the race leader, you can come past the safety car if you're not in the train with the leader up there. So that's another thing to remember as well. This was a wild ride for James Boardman when, after his pit stop, his daughter had snuck into the car and pulled the headset off.
Yeah, that's got to frighten you.
Yeah, that was a big frightening moment for him. Nearly hit the wall down there. He did well to catch it.
Actually destroy that car.
So that was a big one for him. And then again, we kept it pretty neat and tidy after that as well, throughout the next portion of the race. But the final big one of the evening, or final two big ones of the evening, were more than likely going to be the Chad Viger instance that we saw late on in that race, including this one off the exit of turn 11. Contact with Blanchard up there. Gets it loose straight across the nose of the podium car. I think that was Tony Chapman at the time, and off the road he went. And then later on in the lap as well, this was the same incident, so let me find the correct one. Here it is. Later on in the lap as well, and then battling side by side with James Boardman. Bit of contacts made. Off the road he goes and into the tyre barrier. So
he's
that was
going to
the final
hate that
big one.
going underneath that bridge, isn't he?
He will indeed. He will indeed. So our votes have come in for the Driver of the Day award here tonight as well. Before we chat to Roy Clark, who's finished out on the podium here this evening as well, let me have a quick count of the votes. If I can find where I started them from. This is where I started them from. Very good. You can keep the one going if you want, Brett.
Nope.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Brett, for that one.
No worries.
That's a great
That's
one.
okay.
That's a
call
great
me.
one.
Yeah, just to fill in.
Actually, hang on. Let me recount this. 1, 2, 3.
Nothing like a bit of dead air.
By a solitary vote, Brett. By a solitary... Oh, nope. It's now a tie.
Oh!
Gary Buckland got in there late. It's now a tie. We need a decider, Brett. We need a decider.
Do we need to decide it, or can we just give it to 2?
We could give it to 2.
We'll give it to 2.
We'll give it to 2. Okay, we'll give it to 2. We'll give it to 2. So our M1 News Cars drivers of the day here this evening tied on 4 votes apiece, beating out Brenton O'Brien and Pete Baxter. It is both Andrew Listener back in P20, up 16 positions for Southern Cross Racing.
Nice.
And then as well, Roy Clark on the podium here tonight as well. Woo-hoo! Oh, Hazy got it in before we announced it, though. He got a 5th vote in. So do we just give it to Roy?
I don't know.
I tell you what, how about we ask Roy?
Yeah, right.
Let's ask Roy. Okay, we'll drag him in.
Because is
Mr.
he here?
Clark,
is he?
he is in. Hello, Mr. Clark. Welcome in.
How are we, guys?
Very good, thank you. Now, we have a very important question for you before we get into the major questions of the evening.
And I reckon, hang on, Hamish, I reckon you just go, Roy, you've only got 2 options. You can say yes or no.
I'll go no.
Fair enough.
Okay. All
There
right.
you go.
Did Hazy didn't vote already? Sean's claiming that Hazy already voted. He didn't though.
All right.
Yeah. No, unfortunately, Gary, it's only one. It's a vote per account, so Anita would have to vote on her account for that to happen. But that's fine. So we are going to do joint driver of the day this evening instead of just Roy Clark getting it because of Hazy's late vote. But Roy, welcome in. P3 on the road tonight. A podium for yourself and one of the two drivers of the day here this evening as well. Congratulations. How was it out there for you?
That was, I was shocked at the speed I had, but I've thought back and I'm normally pretty good here anyway. I think I've won a couple of split 3 races here and I've podiumed here before for split 2. So it's obviously one of my more favoured tracks. So there was a point after that first pit stop where I was actually holding Michael at a distance and he wasn't catching me. So I knew I was pretty quick. I think Steve was faster than both of us, but it was just getting through the traffic, I think, was really the deciding factor. Steve got caught up on Dom when he was trying to pass him, and that's how Mick got past me. And when I worked out that we were the leading 3 cars on 2 stops, it was just, well, I can get a podium here, so let's just get it. And the last 2 laps, I backed it off because I was on 0 incidents, so I wanted to stay on 0 incidents.
Nice.
Well,
Mate,
obviously some
sorry,
bonus
Hamish,
points because
you
of
go.
that as well, Brett, isn't it? I mean, crucial.
It's 100%. I mean, you've done. Look, you've done exactly what you needed to do, and you're aware of what was going on, and you've just taken advantage of everything as much as you could. Have you found? Do you think that it's just been, you like this track, you finish well on this track, or do you feel like this season there's something that's clicking a little bit and you're ramping stuff up a bit?
It's a bit of a click. Last week was a poor qualifying, which put me at the back of the field.
Yeah.
And I was coming back through the field until there was the incident in front of me and it ripped the front out of the car. So that was sort of the end of that one. The week before I was in the top 10 and Bathurst was Bathurst, was it? Was that the first round? Where were we
Yes, it
first
was.
round?
It was
Yeah.
Bathurst, yes.
Yeah. And it's my least favourite track. So a top 10 at Bathurst, I'm stoked with that in this field.
Yeah.
This week will be interesting. It's very tight. I did some laps last night at St. Pete's. So but
Haven't turned lap there yet.
I was pretty comfortable and was up in the top half a dozen last night, so that was good. That was before the set came out, so we'll see what it's like with the set. But I've been doing a bit of practice at Chicago, and it's just as tight and things like that. So I think it helps get your eye in a bit for it. But I think it's just more about taking it easy, thinking about where you are, and like I was stunned that there were so many guys who had not done their second pit stop when that safety car came out. I was so shocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I think it almost comes down to, I think, stopping before or around critical lap for your first stop, if there's not been a safety car yet, I think has really become a main strategy of split 2 at this point. I mean, that's that's become a winning strategy for a lot of drivers previously. I think the fact that those top 8 cars that hadn't pitted, a few of them it's their first season in split 2, so maybe that's one thing that caught them out a little bit as well, was the fact that they may not be used to that being the strategy of a lot of cars, of pitting early and waiting and hoping for a safety car to be a major strategy. But again, then you're playing for the safety car. But paid out in your favour.
To do that.
Paid out
you
in
have
Stephen
to do
and
that.
Michael's favour. But you've got to, in this, because this game is so competitive in split 2, you've got to try and play any advantage you possibly can and hope it pays off for you. Now, would it have paid off for those drivers that got caught out behind the safety car when they came out of pit lane? Well, probably, if they were able to go past it. But again, it's a balancing act, and sometimes it's all a bit of luck as well that you've actually timed it correctly. In hindsight, for those guys, if they'd actually stayed out another lap and then came in, they wouldn't have been caught out behind it. Yeah, they wouldn't have been caught out behind it, and they would have gained.
Yeah.
So it would have worked out well for them.
I've had that happen before with the safety car coming out in front of you when you're leaving the pits and had to wait to get approval. And by the time you get it, everything you would have got is burnt. So that's why I didn't pit on that lap. I went the next lap because I knew the safety car wasn't out. So I just kept going for that extra lap. And that was the only reason I went the extra lap, was because I've had that happen to me before.
I think it's understanding if the safety car's on track or not, and that's then where you balance that obviously, and learning from, well, it wasn't on track this week, that's what caught them out. If it was on track, they wouldn't have been caught out by it. But Roy, a great performance. We wish you the best of luck this upcoming week at St. Petersburg as well. I'm very excited for this week. I am going to be giddy every day until we get to Thursday, so I am so looking forward to it. Is there anyone that you want to give a shout out to before we let you go this evening?
Just quick for the Testing and Commission Association, One Sports Sportswear, Grundy's Waste, Frosty's Kitchens at Yarra Valley, the Locked On Podcast. Also want to thank the Phase 4 Bar Boys and the Fishy Boys. We've all been working together to try and get a bit quicker. And also Grandview Remedial Massage. Other than that, thanks to the broadcast, thanks to the guys in Vets, and hopefully we continue to put on some good racing like we have the last couple of weeks.
Well, thanks so much, Roy. We really appreciate time. Look forward to seeing you out in Florida on Thursday night. But Roy Clark, P3 tonight. Congratulations on that podium. And the Driver of the Day award as well, alongside Andrew Listener too. Really well done,
Roy.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. That's our last interview and only interview of the night, Brett. So that means that we get into a little bit of post-ample. Then we get into, obviously, the hype-up song once again before the end. I forgot to hide the track map. That's my mistake. But
that's okay.
Yeah, what a race it was. What a night it's been once again here in Split 2. And I'm pumped. I'm excited, Brett. We finally see St. Petersburg next week for the first time here in V8 Veterans. And I think a lot of viewers out there are going to love this place as much as I do. The drivers, depending on how their race goes on Thursday night, could be a different story. It's a tough, tight street circuit built on an airfield. It's incredibly tough. If you want to get a little preview of what it's like, go onto YouTube. You will find the IndyCar race that happened here only a few weeks ago. That's the beauty of IndyCar, Brett. Every race is on YouTube. Go back and watch it. It is incredible at how ridiculous this racetrack can be. It's tough. It's tight. Get your track acclimatization up. Prepare yourselves what's to come next Thursday night as well for the race. And then for the broadcast side, 8:30 p.m. next Saturday night, Australian Eastern Standard Time. We're back once again here at St. Petersburg for the Split 2 action of Season 27 in Round 4 of the Racecraft Simulations V8 Veterans as well. A massive shout out, of course, has to go to the series sponsors, Racecraft Simulations, Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Play One Sim Gear, Nova Simsports, Project Fade Streetwear, LGC Images, and M1 Used Cars with the Driver of the Day award. Tonight it went the way of Roy Clark and Andrew Listener. Next week it could go to you. If you're watching on the V8 Veterans channel, be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing with Split 2, Split 3 or Split 4 action for the V8 Veterans. Go on Sports Sim Speed TV as well. Subscribe to those guys so you can catch the live Split 1 action on Thursday nights as well, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And come and support us over at Infinity Broadcasting too, returning on Monday morning now at 9:50 a.m. due to the time zone change. We're back once again with High Side Motorsports now for Season 2 as the first round of the season, which is a non-championship round for the Clash at Nashville. You can come see some Gen 6 NASCAR action. Nashville Super Speedway at 9:50 in the morning on Monday morning as well. For myself, Hamish Munro Brett Fisher alongside. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your efforts being here with us once again. We'll see you guys next week out at St. Petersburg. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Let's get ready to... Oh, excellent! Let's get hyped up, guys. If this one doesn't get you going, I don't know what will. Check your pacemaker because this one is going to get you fired up.
Every heartbeat on the beat.
Woo! Rock on, everyone. Good night.
With lines screaming, tires bleeding, virtual cubes, the motor's breathing, engine thunder from down under, listen fire, turn asunder, put your name in lights. Oh, with the vets tonight, it's a 1,000 decibel super carbide, burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Oh, you're so steel, but the racing's real. Pedal down every pass you feel. Step right up and place your bets. This is us, the V8 vets. Put your name in lights. Put your name in lights with the vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel super carbide. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Put your name in lights. Oh, oh, with the vets tonight. It's a 1,000 decibel super carbide. Burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. Burn this track to the ground. Come on now, put your name in lights.
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In this sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Rackraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racecraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racecraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation. Yeah, we worked here.